all over. Yeah, so now that's the last question that I had in my list of questions. But
Now,
now,
friends' questions?
yes,
Wonderful. Okay.
I've asked my friends to come up with some questions and they're here.
Wonderful.
So
Okay.
yeah. So first question, I don't know if I can say their names. Yeah, I'll just say their names. You know Bunty, right? Shreyas, Darshimama's son.
Okay.
He asked how to be consistent when it comes to working hard, because hard working can be tiring sometimes. You can't keep working hard for long hours and for long durations. If it's for a week or something, yeah, we can afford to work hard, but if that hard work needs to be continued over the years,
Okay.
and how to be consistent when it comes to working that hard over these long periods of time.
Commitment.
Again,
Simple commitment.
yeah.
Goal. So when you have a goal which is strong, when you commit to that, then that gives, whatever the hard situations comes, how long it will be, but you'll be first-standing going for that.
Yes, that is true. So you say that when you're sure about where you want to be or what you want to become in life, that is how you keep yourself motivated to work harder and harder until you reach that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a nice answer. And next question is from Manu.
Okay.
Raman
Oh,
Haran.
okay.
So he is asking, when is the time that we'd know if we have actually become a doctor? Because just getting a degree doesn't it doesn't matter. In his opinion, he says, getting degree doesn't make you a doctor. But when is a time that we actually feel like a doctor? That you have become a doctor. And I add a question of mine to this. When did you feel like a doctor for the first time in your life?
Oh yeah, wonderful. I will, during my house surgeon internship, I was posted in one rural area in Vardhanapet.
Okay.
The night, what happens is one patient was brought to us to the hospital.
Okay.
He has got a scorpion sting.
Scorpion sting.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has had severe burning
Which
pain.
is poisonous, right?
Yeah, poisonous, yes.
Yeah.
He has got very burning pain and all. So he came and the people are, they're all in sorrowful mood. He's crying. So when he came, and I was duty doctor there. I was just a trainee. I was a house surgeon, that's all. I know that I should take the Xylocaine injection, then dilute it and give it there.
Yeah.
I was scared because I was alone. Nobody there in the night, 1 o'clock in the night. So because I know theory.
Wait, 1 o'clock in the night, what were you doing? So you had those late night shifts also?
Yeah, I was house surgeon, posted in
So
India.
it was obvious that you would have it?
Yes, this is a training period.
Okay, sure. Continue.
So I mixed that Xylocaine into the distilled water and mixed it like that, and I went to the point and just gave injection there.
Okay.
Within hardly 2 minutes, we do all right.
Okay.
So I was so happy. Then I said, I'm a doctor.
Oh yeah, I finally am a doctor now. Somebody is
Somebody's
healed.
healed.
Somebody is saved out of his pain.
Yeah, pain, yeah, that's true. That's
That
really
is
giving
nice.
good satisfaction.
Yeah.
Every time, that's all.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the recent past, one of my relatives who got cancer grade 4.
Grade 4 cancer.
Grade 4
Nirmala
cancer.
Pedamma.
Don't tell me.
Okay, sorry.
So, grade 4 cancer. And you know what happens? Of course, diagnosed by me and got her operated. And what happens is, and they suggested 50% chances of living even after giving chemotherapy.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So they give one shot of this thing, and with that one shot of chemotherapy, she was almost down. Everything was shattered. She lost so much of hair. She became dark. Then she said she doesn't want to go. Then I treated her, and this is already 18 months now. With my treatment, with the methods what I use, the protocols what I use, with the nutrition therapy, the vitamin C, with the ozone, okay, some kind of herbal thing, combinations. And then the other day report came. The reports are normal. No cell of cancer was seen in the scanning.
Even grade 4 cancer
Yes.
was healed.
Yes.
That's a great thing.
Colonoscopy normal, scanning normal, and the blood tests are normal.
Yes.
So that gives me satisfaction. That's my own relative. That gives me. When she just folded her hands and she cried and said, so she said, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
That one word makes me feel so happy as a doctor.
Yeah. So you're basically saying that when you as an individual, single-handedly get to cure somebody of their pain or, relieve somebody of their pain or cure somebody of their disease, you feel as if you're like, okay, I'm a doctor and I've done my job. So that is when you feel like a doctor. Yeah, that's nice. And my friend Rupa, 10th classmate, so she's asking, do you as a doctor have any weakness or strength?
Well, my weakness is sometimes I feel so bad. Just for reason, I know the patient's disease, but patients doesn't accept that. That's the problem. I'll tell you one story. One incident happened in the hospital.
So you're basically saying that you know that patient is suffering from a disease, or like you
Disease, yeah.
try to treat him, but then he doesn't accept the treatment because he doesn't think that he has it.
That's
He's
the
just
problem.
ignoring the treatment. Is it what you
Yeah,
want?
that's what. See, I'll tell you one incident also.
Okay.
See, one tribal girl, the 14 years girl, was brought to the hospital, and she was behaving differently. It seems she was shouting, yelling, and she's doing all nonsense in the house. It seems. So then she brought to me. I examined this thing, and we did. We removed the fluid from the spinal cord, sent for analysis. It came, and the report came as tuberculosis of the brain. Tuberculosis of the brain, TB brain,
Yes.
TB meninges, what we say.
Mm.
So then we start treating the patients. After 3-4 days, that brain edema, the brain swelling gone out, and she was talking normally. Suddenly, when the old man from the tribal village, they came and they said she want to take the girl back home. I said no. No, what she said? No. This is not tuberculosis. This is not TB at all.
Mm.
This is some devata. This is kind of a demonic imposition took place because of we did not do the puja to the goddess.
Oh.
So that's what happened.
Something
You don't know about
supernatural.
that. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
they said we'll take the girl.
Yeah.
I really requested, please wait for at least 1 week, because she's going to be all right with the treatment. About the course will be maybe about 6-7 months. They were so reluctantly, so forcefully she was taken. And after that, they did all puja. It seems I came to know that they all pujas, spending so much money on that. And after hardly 2 months or so, I came to know that she died. Because the edema, the brain problem increased, and she died.
Okay.
That really feels me so bad.
Yeah.
But my strength is because now I know many things now. I'm more confident. The Lord give me more courage now, because I gone to all systems now. Then I can set the patient in a beautiful mode to become all right.
Yeah,
That's
you're
my strength.
courageous. As in, yesterday was sharing this incident, and somebody has a fluid around his heart, and then you just had to put a needle to get that fluid out.
Yeah,
That was really daring. I could have only watched it in movies, but you doing it in person, in reality,
in village.
in village.
That's called pericardial tamponade, where there is a full water comes around the heart. Under the pericardium is a layer.
Yeah,
That is suppose they can't walk properly.
yeah.
So then and there we are supposed to release the tension of the heart, that water,
Mm.
which is not possible here. And he's HIV positive patient.
Oh,
Nobody touches him.
right.
And this is way back, 15 years back. So I told the patients, attendants, I took the chance. I took him to the scanning room. He said, I'm sorry, this is not done in place so far.
Yeah.
But still I requested him. I
Yeah.
took show the point. I put the needle. I drained out about nearly half liter fluid from the pericardium. Then the boy survived. That gives me satisfaction.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, you're saying that your weakness is your inability to convince certain
Exactly,
people
yeah.
to have certain treatment for their disease, but they don't accept to it, and then you just have to let them go, and that annoys you a lot. That saddens you a lot, actually.
Really, so if the diagnosis is done properly when using medication, they become all right. Suddenly they go to taviz.
Yeah.
Some kind
They
of,
believe in all these supernatural things and superstitial beliefs and stuff.
They spend so much money on
So-
that,
Yeah, so you're saying that your weakness is that you're not able to convince them
Convince them,
of
yes.
some things, but your strength is once you are able to convince them, you have a lot of courage to be able to actually deal with the disease
Exactly.
and relieve them out of the pain and cure them of the disease. So that's your strength. Yeah, nice. And you must have known her. You should know Shruti from Warangal.
Yeah.
She's your Manmara.
Marathi, yes.
Yeah, she says how Tataya successfully paid attention to his medical study life when his family when his family faces a hard time.
It's difficult, yeah, that's true, because we are from a different background, so economical status is not very good. So those times, you're supposed to face everything. See,
Mhm.
you have to concentrate on studies, but the family situations are not very favorable. So that time you have to focus on the studies itself, because family situations will sometimes not be there, and that's not permanent anyway. But if you study well, you become good, you come to a good status, you be economically good, then things will be automatically settled.
Yes.
So if you go on thinking, feeling bad about the family or economic situations and all, you can't progress.
Yes.
You can't progress. So always think, if you become big, if you become good status, if you're a good earning member, then you can help everybody
In the
and
family.
things will be settled.
Yeah,
and
things
you'll
will be
alright.
better. Yeah.
So don't get suppressed with the situations you're
Yeah.
facing with.
Yeah. So basically, don't let anything suppress you.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
always be motivated.
Exactly. Especially
to
the
follow
goal.
your goals.
The
Yeah.
goal, your commitment, that's very
It's a
important.
commitment.
Yeah.
Is the most important
Yeah.
thing that you should have.
And the Lord's voice again,
Yeah.
that supports you all the time.
Yeah. And even Bible says, cast your burdens upon Him, and He'll give you rest. So
Yes.
if you can think of family crisis, like a burden that is weighing you down and not letting you move forward in your life, in your career, maybe you can pray for that, and Lord gives you courage and strength to keep moving forward. Maybe that is what I have learned from my own life.
That's
So
true. That's
maybe
true.
that is also true.
Yeah.
So the next question is, what makes your soul happy? This is a question from your, extended family son, Vivek.
Oh,
From my
wonderful.
BTech.
Yeah, thank you, Vivek. Thanks a lot. Yeah, but this is always, what makes your soul happy is always when you do right in front of God.
Yeah, that is true. That is
Okay.
so true.
When you are honest before the Lord,
Yes,
when
when
you
you're
do His
blameless.
job.
Yeah.
when you do His job, you'll be alright. Like a servant, suppose. When his servant, suppose, if the servant does the job given by the master, if he does correctly and perfectly, he'll be cool, he'll be fresh. If there's some mischief, suppose, he has so many reasons to make wrong, he'll be definitely feeling bad. He has no courage to face the master.
Mm.
Like that, if your soul want to be very good, you must be always know God and know from Him, walk the way He advised you to walk.
Yeah.
He guides you to walk. That's it.
So the true happiness comes from, being blameless in front of God,
Exactly.
who is watching you
Exactly.
wherever you are and however you are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. That is true. That is the real happiness, one can have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my friend actually, he's not asking a question because he says, you really think most of us are even qualified to ask him any kind of question? Yeah, so he's saying that we are not qualified, even
See,
to ask.
qualification again, if you're talking as a doctor, if you're my junior,
Yeah.
or if you're in the same line, then it's a qualification. This is a person you're talking to me after achieving so much of professional
Yeah.
time. So this may be how to manage your life, how to continue your life,
Yeah.
how to achieve your goals. Somebody doing that, suppose. Then this advice, that's all. Maybe you get some guidance from that.
Yeah,
that's
so
all.
I told him that, we just ask and then we learn and then we
Exactly.
try to implement in our own lives. But are there, I made a question out of this actually. Are there times when you felt that you are unqualified or disqualified, not qualified to do a certain job, or times that you might have felt that you are not enough, you are not worthy of doing something? Are there any times like that?
There are times anyway. Sometimes, I feel very bad because some people are dying in front of me, but I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm just, my hands are tied.
Yeah.
I can't do. Then I feel really bad. I don't know what happens. Why the disease comes like that.
Yeah.
I feel so much.
For example, Corona.
Yeah, of course, Corona.
Yeah.
And now some cases, even now some cases are not understood by me.
Okay.
I don't know. Some Muslim guy came with this full of ulcers.
Okay.
He had gone to so many doctors. They came to me also. I was trying to do something, but he died within 2 days. I was feeling so bad about that.
Mm. Yeah, so those are the times that you feel like, you're not qualified enough.
I feel very bad.
Yeah, no matter how much you try to do, sometimes it's not enough for the situation. Yeah.
So I have some photos anyway. If somebody wants, I can show how really bad case became very good. Maybe sometimes when I can share with you.
Yeah, another session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so one of my friends, Deena, she's asking, when a patient comes to uncle with so much pain, how will uncle react? And what is the first thought that comes into his mind?
First of all, when the patient comes with pain,
With a lot of pain. With a lot of pain.
I generally join with her first of all. I take the pain to my heart. Right? Then, second question is, I don't get panicky. Okay? I look into the cause of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? What is the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Then look into that. Let's set that problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, suppose somebody came with some, let's say, breathlessness.
Yeah.
I know he's going to die. I'm with her in the mind. I don't show myself.
Yeah.
No? Instead of that, instead of showing my tension, in front of the patient,
Yeah.
I do my job like putting oxygen, try to increase the pulse rate, try to increase the heart rate and all.
Mm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So these things I do.
Mm.
So take the pain, remove the cause as a doctor.
Yes.
That's my first response.
So you always taught me to, this line, 3 words, this phrase, set the crisis first. So is that what you do when you have a situation and you know that you cannot somehow save the person out of that situation, but you do your job first.
Exactly.
You do your best in whatever situation is in front of you.
Yeah.
And one more thing I wanted to ask is being emotional a weakness or a strength when you're a doctor? Because sometimes when you're too emotional, like sometimes, in my case, when things are in front of me and I get too emotional and I become so weak because of being emotional and I'm not able to do anything. So do you think being emotional and being sensitive to patients' pain, is it a weakness or a strength for a doctor?
If suppose, maybe, I don't know, this is time to talk to you, but I have one girl brought to me. She's HIV positive.
Mm-hmm.
I took his story, so pathetic. I really cried in my clinic that day.
Mm-hmm.
The poor girl was telling that she was taken by some guy saying that he's going to marry.
Yeah.
But you took to the village.
That happens a lot in villages.
So took her to some different village because she doesn't have mother and the father is mentally handicapped.
Oh no.
So she's a young girl and she's
all by herself.
She has gone billing that boy, and the boy, he's sold to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in the brothel house.
Oh no.
Oh, then after that, she somehow escaped, and when she was tested positive with HIV.
Okay.
And she was crying bitterly. Even I cried that day with her. That's emotional anyway. I can't do anything now because she's positive already.
Mm.
Yeah. So, those conditions where I became more emotional. But in certain cases, though I'm emotional, I don't show myself. I know they're going to die, but I support them. Don't worry, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Even the relatives, the son may be, the husband may be, the wife may be there. I just support them. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Though I'm down in my heart, though I'm emotional, I can't show myself.
Mm-hmm. So you think a balance is needed between being emotional and being wise to act in a situation where there is a crisis.
That's true.
Yeah. So this is the last question. And this is from Vidya Akka from Bangalore. She straight away she wants to ask, what is your dad's age? And how is he able to maintain like that, Also, what is his everyday routine?
Say, I was taking care of Manna when he was a baby.
Yeah, so Manna is Vidya Akka's husband.
I know.
For people who are watching.
Okay. So Manna is, Vidya Akka's husband. He was a small baby. I used to feed him with a milk bottle.
Oh yeah.
I think during that time, I think I was 9th, 10th classes. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my age.
This is cheating.
Anyway, so that's very good. So be happy all the time basically, because people will be definitely having some problems,
Yeah.
some difficulties, some pains. But you know, the Lord says, don't have any chinta, no suffering.
Do not be anxious for
Don't be anxious
anything.
Yeah, don't be anxious for everything.
Do not, weary yourself.
So you can't do anything now. So cast all your burden on the Lord.
Yeah.
He'll take care of that.
Yeah.
That makes people, healthy.
Mm.
Otherwise, every stress will increase the hormone levels. Cortisol goes up, insulin goes up, fat goes up, then cholesterol goes up, plaques comes out, blocks the heart, blocks the brain. It has so many issues like that.
Mm.
Instead, the Lord is there with me. He is my shepherd. I shall not want anything. If you have that desire, then totally lean upon Him. Things will be good and you'll be healthy.
Yeah.
That's my
So
message.
you're saying that even though life might treat you in a different way where it tries to suppress you and all, but you sticking to the word of God and claiming all the promises and that He is there to provide for you, He is there to care for you.
Yeah.
When you concentrate on these things, you don't worry about anything else. Yeah, so when you're not worrying about anything else, you are always young,
It's true.
with
Because hormones,
good
basically the
hormones,
hormones. Hormones because imbalance because of your stress. Stress is the main cause.
Yes.
If you ask me what is the main cause of disease, this is stress,
Mm-hmm.
not anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So another question is, when it comes to people of my age trying to choose their career path, sometimes what happens is maybe because of their family background or because of their some certain ambitions, they would prefer waking up all night and studying, and that somehow jumbles with their stress levels and hormone levels. So what do you suggest for people like that? Because we have to concentrate on studies and spend much time on that while keeping our health intact. So these two things, we need a balance, but we don't find a balance, because we have to stay awake all night, but then we need a good health. So what do you suggest? What do you think is more important? Chasing your goals or being healthy?
Both are equally important. But just make a balance all the time. Okay?
Yeah.
You must definitely strive hard to achieve the goal. That's very good.
Yeah.
At the same time, safeguard your health also.
Because
Very
that is
important.
most important.
That's more important, yeah.
Because
Suppose,
that is
in
gonna
case,
stay.
suppose the guys like you, suppose they wake up so late, sleep very late, which is not good. Generally, the hormones, the cleaning hormones, especially the melatonin and other things. So they start working from 10:30, okay? Like municipality people who clean the road and all. So they get up like that and they clean everything. What are the dirt which form, like the virus which is formed in the body. When they click the refresh in the computer, but the same job. Remove all the toxins, all the dirt from the body will be removed by these hormones by giving good sleep. Okay, so if you're not sleeping properly, suppose the dirt will be accumulated in the body.
Mm.
Okay, that disturbs the whole hormones production.
Yes.
So when the disparity of the hormones goes, you have some problem. Maybe hormone issues, especially the stress. When you are awake, the cortisol goes very high. So cortisol goes up, again the sugar goes up. Sugar goes up, again everything. This is a cascade. That's why sleep early. Try to be sleeping early by at least 10:30, 11 o'clock and get up early. Maybe after 3 o'clock, the cleaning process goes off in the body. Then after 3:30, 3 o'clock, you can get up, no problem. The body is done. It's refreshed for the day.
So early to bed, early to rise.
When you read in
Nursery.
LKG, yes, this is again comes to the picture now.
Yes.
So safeguard all the time. Look for a goal and think of the Lord. What is the mission? What is the vision that the Lord gave you? Work for that. That's more important. That's the beauty of the life. So who is satisfied more? I feel the satisfaction comes doing the Lord's will in perfection is the Lord's will. I mean, that's a satisfaction of the life.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, so that is all for our question and answer session. Thank you so much for spending time with us. And thank you all for sticking with us, till this point and being so patient and listening to everything that my dad is answering. So thank you so much, and that ends our session now. But really, what is your age?
My age is already 56 over. I'm running 57 now.
57.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like after all these years now I have my answer. Because every time I ask you what's your age, you say 25 and then you just get along with it.
See, age is only for the body, but
Yes.
not for the mind, not
That
for the
is very
heart,
true.
not for the vision, not for the goal. That goes on continuous like that.
Yes.
Okay? Age is age, that's all. The vision in me is always 25.
Wow. So thank you so much.
Right, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you all.